Live from WTOC, the Southeast News leader. The News Now starts on WTOC Plus.
Thanks for joining us here for the news on WTOC Plus. I'm digital anchor Jude Binkley. We start with this. 3 Savannah residents are now without a home after a house fire broke out just about 2 hours ago. Now, here are some pictures of the scene from the Savannah Fire Department. They say around 8:22 this morning, crews were dispatched to this house on East Victory Drive for a structure fire. Now, the flames were contained to just the kitchen. Nobody was hurt. However, 3 people, 2 adults and a child, were displaced. Continuing coverage out of the Low Country, a woman injured in the mass shooting outside of Willie's Bar and Grill on St. Helena Island is now filing a lawsuit against the restaurant, its owners, and property managers. Quinetta Clark says they failed to provide adequate security despite a history of violence there. Now, Clark says she was trying to leave the alumni tailgate at the bar when that violence broke out. She says she was shot in the back. Now, the lawsuit targets Willie Turl, the bar's owner, property owners James and Bernice Wright, and the shooting suspect, Anthony Freeman. Clark is also seeking compensation from Freeman after suffering injuries that continue to cause physical pain, mental anguish, and medical expenses. Now, we did receive a statement from the bar's owner saying, quote, "The venue was rented to a third-party promoter, and the incident occurred entirely outside of the premises. I'm fully cooperating with the legal process and intend to defend myself through the courts." Turning now to state news, the DeKalb County Sheriff's Office is working to reassure the community in Middle Georgia after the capture of 3 escaped inmates.
My primary focus is to make sure that you all know that DeKalb County Jail is secure.
Now, investigators located the inmates near Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The escape happened overnight Sunday. U.S. Marshals say the escapees called someone for a ride, went to one of the inmates' girlfriend's homes where she called them a rideshare to South Florida. According to court documents, once they arrived, the inmates allegedly put a rope around the driver's neck, tied her hands, and stole the car. She was found in a nearby home with one of the inmates. 2 of the 3 inmates have already appeared back in court. Both were denied bond. The third is in the hospital. Turning now to national news. This morning, the Department of Justice is facing heavy criticism for how it's releasing court documents linked to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Today, we are waiting for the slow trickle of documents that have so far featured heavy redactions. Hundreds of thousands of files are still being held back. In the latest batch, which was released yesterday, President Trump's name is listed multiple times, though the Justice Department says many of the claims in them are, quote, unfounded and false. CBS News' Jared Hill has more from New York.
The Department of Justice released tens of thousands of new Jeffrey Epstein files this week, some mentioning President Trump, then a private citizen, by name. There's this DOJ email that says Mr. Trump took more flights on Epstein's plane than previously known, at least 8 in the 90s.
I actually threw him out of Mar-a-Lago.
President Trump has said he had a falling out with Epstein years ago and maintains he had no knowledge of the well-connected convicted sex offender's crimes.
What this whole thing is with Epstein is a way of trying to deflect from the tremendous success that the Republican Party has.
The Justice Department defended President Trump in a social media post Tuesday, writing that the documents contained sensationalist claims about the president that are unfounded and false. Other emails show that federal agents asked for updates in contacting 10 potential co-conspirators, including Epstein's girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, but most names are redacted.
We are not going to quit until justice is done.
Congressional Democrats and some Republicans have criticized the DOJ for not meeting the law's deadline to release all of the files with necessary redactions by last Friday. Jennifer Freeman, an attorney for some of Epstein's survivors, says they're raising concerns as well.
They want the truth, and it's been very hard to get the truth.
The DOJ says it still has hundreds of thousands of files to release. Lawmakers are threatening to take legal action to force them to speed up. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Well, back here at home, we do have new details on a fatal crash in Pooler that backed up Highway 80 for hours last night. This was the scene around 8 o'clock near the I-95 interchange. The crash involved a pedestrian and a tractor trailer. and the pedestrian was killed in that crash. Mayor Karen Williams, put out a statement about the crash, asking for the community to join her in prayer for the family of the victim. She also asked residents to be extra defensive in driving, also saying it is the perfect time of year to practice some extra patience with one another. And if you do plan on hitting the roads this morning, state leaders are urging you to plan ahead and never get behind the wheel impaired. Georgia state troopers will be out in full force today and through the holiday weekend with zero tolerance for drunk or distracted driving. Georgia State Patrol shared that last year they issued over 10,000 citations during the Christmas and New Year's holiday travel period statewide. They remind everyone that if you're out drinking, to consider using a rideshare service, calling a friend or a loved one, or planning for a designated driver. Well, it is Christmas Eve, and if you're a bit of a procrastinator like myself, you might have some extra Christmas shopping to do today. Reporter Mary-Kate Hamilton with our sister station has more on what shoppers should be thinking about today, as well as what stores are open and closed.
Well, we've talked about last-minute shopping, but now it really is the last minute. Stores, including grocery stores, many of them will be completely closed tomorrow, so take stock of what you need and get it done today. Now, 160 million Americans will be shopping today. That's according to the National Retail Federation. And if you're still trying to set a budget, here's the average. Consumers spent $847 this year on holiday spending. And yes, that includes their meals and sometimes even travel. Now, if you're getting out to shop today, plan to come sooner in the day rather than later and pack your patience.
I mean, it's amazing when you're the only one shopping, but when there's tons of people, it's a little overwhelming and overstimulating. So I'm ready to go home. But other than that, it's great.
Don't say we didn't warn you, and happy shopping. Reporting at Atlantic Station, Mary-Kate Hamilton, Atlanta News First.
You know, I stopped by the Wawa in Pooler this morning. It was still plenty of busy. I don't know if you can get any Christmas presents there, though, unfortunately. All right, and if you're stressed about the holiday spending, your energy bill shouldn't add to that. Here's how to start cutting it today, or maybe in a couple of days once the temperatures start dropping again. Electric companies say simple changes besides turning off your lights can help cut your bill down. Here's what most people don't know. Your lights use almost no energy compared to your heater. Every degree above 68 costs you about $10 a month. So if you're at 72 degrees, that's $40 you're throwing away. The fix is to dress warmer indoors. Think about long sleeves, blankets, and slippers. And if you can wear shorts comfortably inside, you can probably turn that heat down.
You have solar at your home already. Winter usage is not really going to help you a ton because our peak usage time is during the coldest time each day, and that's when the sun's not shining. So if you have solar PV at your home, if you can invest in battery storage, that's great. Or if you already have battery storage and you can discharge those batteries during our peak usage times, which is 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. in the winter, that will definitely help you out.
Smart thermostats can also help too. They learn when your usage is and they adjust automatically, as well as remind you when to change your air filter. All right, well, we are continuing our year in review here on WTOC Plus. Last week, we looked at some of the major political, health, and international stories, and now we're turning to something a little bit more fun, entertainment news, where from diss tracks to demon hunters, 2025 set the stage for an unforgettable year. Gwen Bumgarner looks at some of the major entertainment stories from 2025.
They not like us. They not like us. Kendrick Lamar kicked off 2025 with 5 Grammy wins, including Song and Record of the Year for Not Like Us. And only a week later, headlining the Super Bowl halftime show with a musical performance surrounded by social commentary.
Oh, look at these two.
It wasn't the music that made this Coldplay concert unforgettable.
Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
This Jumbotron moment went viral, sparking parodies, memes, and the pair's job resignations. At the Oscars, indie film Anora walked away with 5 awards, including Best Picture. And at the Emmys, Apple TV's The Studio received 13 wins, setting a record for most wins by a comedy series in a single season. Jimmy Kimmel was temporarily out of a job when ABC suspended him following a monologue about the murder of Charlie Kirk. The decision prompted protests and discourse about free speech. Adding to the late-night shakeup,
the network will be ending The Late Show in May. And
Stephen Colbert announced his decade-running show on CBS was coming to an end. Rapper Sean Diddy Combs was convicted on prostitution charges and sentenced to 50 months in jail following a trial that spanned several weeks. And the legal battle continues for It Ends With Us co-stars Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. Lively accused Baldoni of sexual harassment. He hit back with a lawsuit claiming defamation and extortion. Baldoni's lawsuit was dismissed. Memorials continue to grow following the shocking death of Rob Reiner, the decorated director and actor, along with his wife Michelle, killed in their Los Angeles home.
I want to tell you how the world lost its mind with grief the day you died.
This was part of a tribute to Diane Keaton as the world said goodbye to several Hollywood legends in 2025. Actors Robert Redford, Gene Hackman, Malcolm Jamal Warner, and the Prince of Darkness, Ozzy Osbourne.
They're stealing the souls of our fans?
K-pop Demon Hunters hit a high note on Netflix, becoming the site's most streamed movie ever. At the domestic box office, the Minecraft movie had the year's biggest opening weekend, pulling in more than $162 million. Billionaires headed down the aisle in 2025. Jeff Bezos wed Lauren Sanchez in Venice. Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco had an intimate ceremony in California. Taylor Swift also got her love story. The singing superstar became engaged to NFL boyfriend Travis Kelce in August. Her 12th studio album, The Life of a Showgirl, became the fastest-selling album in history. Those are some of the year's top entertainment stories. Gwen Baumgardner, CBS News, Los Angeles.
All right, well, that story talked a little bit about the Oscars, obviously Nora winning for 2025. If I had to give a pick, I saw Hamnet in the theaters earlier this week, and that was a really good movie. I think that might be my pick if I was on the Oscar board or Academy Award board. What was it? Paul Mescal and Jesse Buckley. Incredible movie. Maybe not the best Christmas movie. It's definitely a little more heavier, a little sad, but my goodness, it was one heck of a movie, something I'd recommend to anyone. All right, well, before we wrap up, tomorrow is Christmas, and nobody's getting into the spirit more than the folks of Santa Claus, Georgia. With streets named December Drive and Candy Cane Lane, how much more festive can you get? Santa Claus, Georgia was founded in the 1930s by a local pecan farmer who gave the town its name to draw travelers on U.S. Highway 1 to his business. He even carved the town out of one of his groves. Today, the community is just over 200 residents strong, and it spreads Christmas cheer year-round, and visitors still come to get the official Santa Claus postmark on their holiday cards.
I stamp cards with the City of Santa Claus stamp. Santa picks up mail there so the children can put their letters in there. And if he doesn't come by, then I send them to him, so he always gets the letters if you put them in Santa Claus.
And even Santa himself loves the town named after him, and officials say he even comes to visit during their holiday events. I lived in Indiana for a little while, just north of Indianapolis, and in Indiana there's a Santa Claus, Indiana as well, with this place called Holiday World, really cool amusement park. But as far as we know, those are the only two places in the world named after the big man Kris Kringle, right here in Georgia and in Indiana. And speaking of Santa Claus, take a look at this. Throughout the day, we're going to be tracking his flight path. This is the NORAD cam right now. You can see right now Santa's in Indonesia on his way to Australia. If you are interested in watching the NORAD flight tracker, which they've been doing for 70 years now, believe it or not, all started with a kid calling the aerospace defense after a number was misprinted in a newspaper. And now 70 years strong. This is always one of my holiday traditions growing up. If you would like to check NORAD, obviously you can do it online, but we also have it as a live stream on the secondary WTOC Plus feed. If you're watching this in the app or on the website, it's just that next one down called WTOC Plus Breaking News and Weather. Could be a great Yule log this evening. Maybe if you're, you've got some family over and want to check in on where the big man's at throughout the night. We have been hearing from NORAD. He's expected to hit the U.S. East Coast sometime between 9 p.m. and midnight tonight. And of course, we'll keep you posted right here on WTOC about that as well. And with that, we are going to wrap things up here for the news on WTOC Plus. We appreciate you spending part of your morning with us on this Christmas Eve. And we'll be back in just about 40 minutes with a look at your Christmas Day forecast with Dylan Smith. So stay tuned for that. And in the meantime, you can always head on over to our website to catch the latest updates at WTOC.com. Thanks for watching, and here's Local News Live.